There is a town in Arkansas where a retired couple lives on $847 a month. Not because they are struggling, because that is genuinely all it costs. The rent is $425 for a 2-bedroom apartment. Utilities run $85. Groceries cost $200 because they shop smart. Healthcare is covered by Medicare. And they have $137 left over for entertainment, which in their town means fishing, community potluck dinners, and the occasional movie rental because the nearest theater is 45 minutes away. That is not poverty. That is strategy! Everyone assumes a retirement requires $4,000 or $5,000 monthly minimum. Financial advisors push complicated investment strategies, assuming you will maintain an expensive lifestyle until you die. The entire retirement industry is built on the premise that you cannot possibly live on less than you currently earn. But scattered across America, there are towns so affordable, so forgotten by the economic forces driving up costs everywhere else, that retirement on $1,000 a month is not just possible, it is comfortable. Some people are doing it on less. These are not glamorous places. There are no beach views, no trendy restaurants, no Instagram-worthy downtowns. What they have instead is housing that costs less than a car payment, utilities that run $100 a month, and communities where people actually know their neighbors because nobody's in a hurry to be anywhere else. I think retirement acquires wealth. Cool! Let us count the places where it does not. Like this video, if you have ever suspected that expensive retirement is a marketing scheme designed to keep you working longer, subscribe, because this channel specializes in finding the places where the math works differently and explaining who should consider them versus who would be miserable. We are counting down 12 cheap US towns where you can genuinely retire on $1,000 a month. Some are surprisingly pleasant. Some require adjustments. And one requires accepting that your medical options involve a significant drive. Let us break it down. Number 12, McAllen, Texas. McAllen sits at the southern tip of Texas, so close to Mexico that many residents cross the border regularly for affordable dental work and prescription medications. It is one of the cheapest metros in America, and retirees have figured this out. McAllen has about 150,000 residents in the city proper, with the broader Rio Grande Valley region approaching 1.4 million. Winter Texans have been coming here for decades, escaping northern cold for affordable warmth. The infrastructure exists to support retirees. Here's the McAllen retirement budget. Rent for a 1-bedroom apartment averages $650. 2 Nanaheka Goji utilities run about $110 monthly because air conditioning is not optional in Texas summer. Groceries cost around $200 monthly, with Mexican markets offering excellent prices on produce. Healthcare is accessible with multiple hospitals and the option of affordable care across the border in rain. The catch is heat. We are talking about sustained 100-degree temperatures for months. If you cannot handle Texas summer, McAllen will be miserable from May through September. Also, the border region has its own dynamics. Some people love the bicultural atmosphere. Others find it disorienting. Someone who retired there described it as affordable paradise if you adapt. Their total monthly expenses run about $980, including everything. Winter is perfect. Summer requires staying indoors during peak heat and planning activities for mornings and evenings. They cross to Mexico for dental cleanings at 1/3 the American price. In short, McAllen offers genuine $1,000 retirement with warm winters and cultural richness for people who can handle extreme summer heat and appreciate border town dynamics. Picture yourself on a January morning, 72 degrees, having breakfast on your patio. Your rent is $700. Your winter escape costs nothing extra because you live here. Then July arrives and stepping outside at 2 p.m. feels like walking into an oven. Your electric bill triples, and you understand why winter Texans leave in summer? Would you trade perfect winters for brutal summers? Number 11. Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Pine Bluff will let you retire on $1,000 a month with money left over, which sounds amazing until you understand why everything is so cheap. Pine Bluff sits about 45 miles south of Little Rock with a population around 40,000, down from 57,000 in 1990. The decline is visible. Empty storefronts, boarded windows. A downtown that once thrived now feels haunted by its former self. Here is the Pine Bluff retirement math. Rent for a one-bedroom averages $500. 2 Ropek-Agoju modest houses rent for $550. 2 Nanaheka utilities run about $100 monthly. Groceries are 15% below national average. Healthcare is available through Jefferson Regional Medical Center, though specialists often require trips to Little Rock. That catches crime and decline. Pine Bluff consistently ranks among the most dangerous small cities in America. Certain neighborhoods are genuinely unsafe. The economic situation has created social challenges that statistics confirm and residents acknowledge. Someone who retired there described it as affordable but requiring awareness. They live in a safer neighborhood near the hospital. They do not go out after dark unnecessarily. Their monthly expenses total about $875, but they also describe the adjustment of living somewhere where decline is visible daily. It affects mood. You notice empty buildings? You wonder about the future. In short, Pine Bluff offers the lowest costs on this list for people who can handle living in a struggling community and take reasonable precautions about safety. Picture yourself in a decent apartment paying $550 monthly. Your total expenses barely touch $900. You have a fishing spot on the Arkansas River that costs nothing. Then you read the crime statistics, notice the empty buildings on your drive to the grocery store, and wonder if saving money is worth the psychological weight of visible community decline? Number 10. Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Johnstown offers cheap retirement in Appalachian, Pennsylvania, where the housing costs reflect both beautiful scenery and the economic reality of a region that lost its industries decades ago. Johnstown has about 18,000 residents, down from over 67,000 in 1920 when steel was king. The famous Johnstown flood of 1889 killed over 2,200 people. Today, the flood is history and the steel is gone. What remains is architecture from prosperous eras, stunning mountain surroundings, and costs that seem frozen in time. Here's the Johnstown retirement budget. Rent for one-bedroom apartments averages $1. Goheka-Goju 2 Nanaheka houses rent for $600. 2 Hapyeki utilities run about $140 monthly because heating in Pennsylvania winter is significant. Groceries are about 5% below national average. The catch is winter and isolation. We're talking about Appalachian, Pennsylvania winter with significant snowfall and cold temperatures lasting months. The nearest major city is Pittsburgh, about 70 miles away. Cultural amenities are limited. If you need stimulation, you create it yourself or drive. Someone who retired there described it as beautiful and quiet. Too quiet for some. Their monthly expenses run about $920. They hiked the Laurel Highlands in good weather. But they also described winters where leaving the house requires planning, where the short days affect mood, and where the nearest specialty shopping is always Pittsburgh. In short, Johnstown offers affordable mountain retirement for people who genuinely enjoy quiet living, can handle real winter, and do not need urban amenities. Picture yourself on a fall morning surrounded by mountains turning orange and red. Your rent is $600. The scenic beauty is free and endless. Then February arrives. Snow has been falling for weeks. You have not seen the sun in days, and you realize why people pay more to live where winter is shorter. Number 9. Danville, Illinois. Danville sits in eastern Illinois, close enough to Indianapolis and Champaign to access cities, but cheap enough at $1,000 monthly retirement works comfortably. Danville has about 30,000 residents and serves as the seat of Vermilion County. It was a manufacturing hub before manufacturing left. The town has been working on revitalization, but the economy remains challenged. What this means for retirees is housing costs that seem like a time warp. Here is the Danville retirement math. Rent for one-bedroom apartments averages $500 to $650. Houses rent for $600 to $750. Utilities run about $120 monthly. Groceries are about 10% below national average. The catch is there's not much happening. Danville is a small Midwest town with small Midwest town entertainment options. If you need cultural stimulation, Indianapolis is 90 minutes away. Chicago is about 2.5 hours. But locally, your options are limited. Someone who retired there described it as peaceful and affordable. They came from Chicago, where their apartment cost more monthly than their entire Danville expenses. Their total monthly budget is $875. They describe satisfaction with quiet life, but they also describe the adjustment of having fewer options, fewer restaurants, fewer events, fewer people to meet. In short, Danville offers genuine $1,000 retirement with reasonable access to larger cities for people who embrace small-town Midwest living without needing constant entertainment. Picture yourself in a comfortable apartment for $575 monthly. Indianapolis and Champaign are day trip distance. Your retirement income goes twice as far as it would in Chicago. Then Friday night arrives and your entertainment options are the local bar, a movie at home, or driving 90 minutes for anything more interesting. Would you trade entertainment options for affordable living? Number 8. Las Cruces, New Mexico. Las Cruces offers something rare on this list. Genuine cultural and natural attractions alongside affordable living. It is cheap retirement with actual things to do. Las Cruces has about 105,000 residents and sits in southern New Mexico. Surrounded by desert beauty near White Sands National Park and with New Mexico State University providing cultural activity. The Oregon Mountains create stunning backdrop. The climate is high desert with over 300 sunny days annually. Here is the Las Cruces retirement budget! Rent for one-bedroom apartments averages $700 to $850. Utilities run about $95 monthly because heating and cooling costs are moderate in the high desert. Groceries are about 5% below national average. The catch is heat and remoteness. Summer temperatures regularly exceed 100 degrees. The nearest major city is El Paso, about 45 minutes south. Albuquerque is over 200 miles north. You are genuinely in the desert southwest, which some people love and others find isolating. Someone who retired, they described it as their perfect balance. Climate is comfortable most of the year. Cost of living makes Social Security feel adequate. University events provide culture. Mountains provide hiking. Their monthly expenses run about $975. But they also describe summer as brutal if you do not appreciate desert heat, and described occasional feelings of remoteness when they want something Las Cruces does not have. In short, Las Cruces offers affordable retirement with actual lifestyle benefits for people who love desert climate, appreciate university town culture, and can handle being far from major metros. Picture yourself hiking the Organ Mountains on a January morning. 55 degrees and sunny. University lectures are free for seniors. Your rent is $750. Then August arrives at 105 degrees. The nearest Ikea is in Albuquerque for hours round trip, and you remember why more people do not discover this place. Number 7. Gadsden, Alabama. Gadsden offers deep South retirement at prices that seem like errors on the listing. It is cheap, it is warm, and it has more going for it than the statistics suggest. Gadsden has about 33,000 residents and sits in northeast Alabama, about an hour from Birmingham. It was a steel and manufacturing center before those industries declined. Nakalula Falls, a 90-foot waterfall, sits within city limits. The Coosa River runs through town. Here is the Gadsden retirement map. Rent for one-bedroom apartments averages $550 to $700. Houses rent for $600 to $800. Utilities run about $110 monthly. Groceries are about 12% below national average. The catch is Alabama. For some people, that is not a catch. For others, it is immediate disqualification, regardless of cost. The Deep South has its own culture, politics, and pace. Adapting is easier for some than others. Someone who retired there from Ohio described genuine culture shock that faded into appreciation. Everything moves slower. People talk to strangers. Church is a social institution. Their monthly expenses run about $895. They describe it as surprisingly pleasant once they adjusted expectations and stopped comparing everything to where they came from. In short, Gadsden offers remarkably cheap retirement with natural beauty and southern warmth for people willing to embrace Deep South culture fully. Picture yourself fishing the Coosa River on a Tuesday because every day is Saturday in retirement. Your rent is $625. Nakalula Falls is 10 minutes away. Then someone asks about your church and you realize social integration in the Deep South runs through institutions you may or may not belong to. Number 6. Brownsville, Texas. Brownsville sits at the absolute southern tip of Texas, right on the Mexican border, offering retirement costs so low, they seem like a different country. In some ways, they are. Brownsville has about 185,000 residents and is part of the larger Rio Grande Valley region, the border with Matamoros. Mexico is right there. Many residents cross regularly. The economy, culture, and daily life are thoroughly Here is the Brownsville retirement budget. Rent for one-bedroom apartments averages $600 to $750. Utilities run about $120 monthly because Texas heat demands air conditioning. Groceries are about 15% below national average, especially if you shop strategically, including Mexican markets. Healthcare is available locally, with the additional option of affordable care in Mexico. The catch is identical to McAllen. Brutal summer heat, border town dynamic, distance from anywhere else in America. Houston is 5 hours north. You are genuinely at the end of the road. Someone who retired there described it as retirement abroad without leaving America. Their monthly expenses run about $925. They get dental work in Mexico for 1/4 the American cost. Prescriptions are cheaper across the border. They describe it as living in 2 countries while sleeping in one. In short, Brownsville offers extremely affordable retirement with unique binational benefits for people who embrace border culture and can handle Texas heat. Picture yourself having breakfast at a Mexican restaurant where your meal costs $4.50 and is better than anything you ate in your previous city. Your rent is $650. Healthcare includes options on both sides of the border. Then summer arrives at 98 degrees with 80% humidity, and you wonder if cheap living is worth sweating through August. Number 5. Fort Smith, Arkansas. Fort Smith offers something unusual. Cheap retirement in a town that actually functions as a real city with real amenities, not a declining community desperately seeking residents. Fort Smith has about 90,000 residents and sits on the Arkansas-Oklahoma border. It is the second largest city in Arkansas. It has a functioning downtown, legitimate restaurants, a regional airport, and the infrastructure of a real city. It just happens to be remarkably affordable. Here is the Fort Smith retirement budget. Rent for 1-bedroom apartments averages $600 to $750. Utilities run about $105 monthly. Groceries are about 10% below national average. The catch is, it is still Arkansas! Not as remote as other Arkansas entries, but still in a state that many people overlook or dismiss. The nearest major metro is Tulsa, about 90 minutes west. Someone who retired there from California described it as discovering America. They sold their California house, bought a Fort Smith house with cash, and their housing costs dropped to property taxes and insurance. Total monthly expenses run $975 with no mortgage. They describe it as the retirement they could not afford in California, now fully funded by Social Security. In short, Fort Smith offers legitimate city amenities at small-town prices for people who want affordable retirement without sacrificing all urban features. Picture yourself downtown at a legitimate restaurant, good food, reasonable prices. Your rent is $675 or your mortgage is paid off entirely. The city functions. Healthcare is accessible. Then you explain to coastal friends where you live and watch them search their mental maps for Arkansas. Would you take functional affordability over expensive familiarity? Number 4. Wichita Falls, Texas. Wichita Falls offers Texas retirement without the heat extremes of the Rio Grande Valley, at prices that stretch Social Security into genuine comfort. Wichita Falls has about 105,000 residents and sits in north-central Texas near the Oklahoma border. It is large enough to have real amenities, but small enough to remain affordable. The climate is hot in summer, but not the brutal extremes of South Texas. Here is the Wichita Falls retirement math. Rent for 1-bedroom apartments averages $650 to $800. Utilities run about $115 monthly. Groceries are about 8% below national average. The catch is there is nothing particularly special about Wichita Falls. It is not scenic. It is not culturally vibrant. It is a functional Texas city that happens to be cheap. The scenery is flat. Entertainment is what you create. Someone who retired there from Dallas described it as boring and wonderful. Their monthly expenses run $940. They describe peace. They did not know they wanted. Nothing is happening in Wichita Falls. For them, that became the attraction. In short, Wichita Falls offers straightforward, affordable retirement in a functional Texas city for people who want cheap, stable, and boring. Picture yourself in a comfortable apartment for $700. Your Social Security covers everything with room to spare. Life is calm. Then someone asks what you do for fun, and you pause because the honest answer is not much, and you're surprisingly okay with that. Number 3, Clarksburg, West Virginia. Clarksburg offers Appalachian retirement at prices that make even cheap places look expensive. Surrounded by mountains that photographers travel far to capture, Clarksburg has about 15,000 residents and sits in north-central West Virginia. It is the birthplace of Stonewall Jackson for history enthusiasts. The surrounding mountains are genuinely beautiful. The economy is genuinely struggling. Here is the Clarksburg retirement budget. Rent for one-bedroom apartments averages $500 to $650. Houses rent for $550 to $700. Utilities run about $125 monthly. Groceries are about 8% below national average. The catch is everything that makes it cheap. Economic decline is visible. Young people leave. The opioid crisis has affected West Virginia communities severely. You are retiring into a region facing genuine challenges that statistics cannot capture, but daily life reveals. Someone who retired there described it as trading money problems for different problems. Their monthly expenses run $825. Financially, they are comfortable. Psychologically, watching community decline takes a toll. They love the mountains. They struggle with the context. In short, Clarksburg offers the lowest costs for genuine mountain beauty for people who can emotionally handle living in a region facing significant challenges. Picture yourself on a mountain road in October, surrounded by peak fall foliage, costs so low that Social Security feels abundant. Then you drive through downtown, notice the closed businesses, and feel the weight of a region that has been struggling for decades. Number 2, Amarillo, Texas. Amarillo offers Texas retirement with genuine quirky appeal at costs that leave significant room in a $1,000 budget. Amarillo has about 200,000 residents and sits in the Texas Panhandle, surrounded by flat plains that stretch to the horizon. It is famous for Cadillac Ranch, the big Texan steakhouse. And being a stop on Route 66, it has more personality than most cheap cities. Here is the Amarillo retirement budget. Rent for one-bedroom apartments averages $700 to $850. Utilities run about $110 monthly. Groceries are about 7% below national average. The catch is wind and isolation. The Panhandle is flat and windy. Seriously windy. All the time. The nearest major metro is Dallas, about 6 hours away. Denver is 5 hours. You are genuinely in the middle of nowhere. It just happens to be an interesting middle of nowhere. Someone who retired there described it as unexpectedly charming. Their monthly expenses run $945. They described the quirky Route 66 culture, the genuine friendliness, and the bizarre experience of Palo Duro Canyon, which is stunning and unknown. But they also describe learning to ignore wind as a permanent background condition. In short, Amarillo offers affordable retirement with actual character and attractions for people who can handle flat, windy isolation with a sense of humor. Picture yourself at Cadillac Ranch, spray painting a buried car, because that is a thing you can do there. Your rent is $750. Paro Judo Canyon, the second largest canyon in America, is 25 minutes away. Then the wind starts again, as it does every day, and you remember why most people drive through Amarillo rather than stay. Number 1. Hot Springs, Arkansas. Hot Springs takes the top spot because it offers something no other entry on this list met. Genuine destination quality, living at $1,000 a month prices. Hot Springs has about 38,000 residents and sits in the Wichita Mountains of central Arkansas. Bathhouse Row is a National Historic Landmark. Hot Springs National Park brings over 1 million visitors annually. The lakes are stunning. The natural hot springs still flow. This is a place people actually choose to visit. Here is the Hot Springs retirement budget. Rent for one-bedroom apartments averages $650 to $800. Utilities run about $100 monthly. Groceries are about 10% below national average. Healthcare is accessible through multiple facilities. The catch is, it is still Arkansas. Tourism means crowds seasonally. And while Hot Springs is nicer than average for the price range, it is not a wealthy community. Some areas show where someone who retired there from Illinois described it as winning a lottery they did not know they entered. Their monthly expenses run $925. They describe lake access, natural beauty, actual activities, and a community of retirees who chose the same calculation. It feels like a resort they can actually afford to live in permanently. In short, Hot Springs offers the rare combination of genuine destination quality and retirement budget prices. You are not settling for cheap. You are finding value that richer retirees overpay for elsewhere. Picture yourself soaking in natural hot springs on a Tuesday morning, kayaking Lake Hamilton on Wednesday, hiking in a national park on Thursday. Your rent is $725. Your retirement life involves activities people take vacations to experience. And you live here for $1,000 a month while people in expensive cities work extra years to afford worse lives. So, there you have it. 12 U.S. towns where retiring on $1,000 a month is not just possible but actually comfortable. Hot Springs takes the crown because it offers what most cheap places lack: genuine quality of life. You are not just surviving cheaply. You are living well on less. That is the real retirement dream. Here's my question for you. What is your retirement number? Could you live on $1,000 monthly if the location was right? Or do you need more, regardless of costs? And which town on this list surprised you most? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I genuinely want to know where your threshold sits. Like this video if you just realized expensive retirement might be optional for people willing to think differently about location. Subscribe because this channel keeps finding places where the math works for people who pay attention. The financial industry wants you to believe you cannot retire without millions. These 12 towns prove otherwise. Sometimes the cheapest option is the best option, and sometimes the best view is the one you can actually afford.